Space Dandy is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's a show that starts out as a comedy, but then it will change its direction out of nowhere to tell a story that's either really beautiful or very emotional. My personal favorite example of this occurrence is the episode where Dandy meets a guy and they start a band, in one of the most beautiful episodes of the show. A world with no sadness, baby. This is by far my favorite episode of the show. It's mysterious, intriguing, and sad. However, to talk about it, I would need to get into spoilers, and if you have not seen the show, I recommend watching it before you're watching this. Watch episode 1 for the introduction to Dandy and the characters, and watch episode 21 as it's the episode I'm going to discuss. It's an anthology series, so you won't miss any story. Do watch the whole show afterwards though, because it's amazing. If you've done that, or have watched it already, skip to this timestamp as I'm going to go over the story very briefly. Here we go. So Dandy dies. He and his crew go into a dark nebula and he hits his head really hard and dies. He spends the rest of the episode in the planet Limbo where he realizes everything is dead and he tries to escape. He meets the planet itself in the form of a girl and he gets sent to another dimension where he doesn't die. This episode is beautiful. It messes with your head and your heart. All those heightened by the magnificent score, art style, story, and characters. So why don't we go over those? The score is fucking awesome. While scripting this, I am listening to the soundtrack, and I love every single part of it so much. The songs in the show are pretty great, and fit the scenes they go perfectly. Same goes for this episode. Everything feels ethereal, mysterious, and exciting. There's very few songs in the entire episode. However, they manage to enhance the experience so much. When Dandy first meets Ferdinand, the music has this more melancholy but happy feeling to it, and once Dandy agrees to go along with him, it becomes more bubbly. Hi, it's me. While editing this, I realized that I had made a mistake and that the next song that plays is actually in the restaurant when it's the people talking about wanting to die and the whole concept of death, kinda. I don't remember the exact lyrics of it. I'm about to go on vacation, so I can't really rewatch it. I just want to get this video done. It'll be better next time, I swear. The next time music plays is when Dandy and Ferdinand are trying to find food and come across the candy. Literal, like, alive candy. Seen as this goes right into the ad break, the music feels optimistic. However, when we come back, we're trained to the lutenist, playing a song that feels like everything is coming to an end. It's a perfect song to end a story to. It even lulls Dandy to sleep. But once he comes to, the music switches to a much faster pace with a flamenco song. I wish there was more of it because it's so fucking short. It's so fucking beautiful, man. Then there's the scene where Dandy leaves the planet. The music starts off as a very melancholy yet ethereal song as Limbo explains to Dandy what she is. It then leans into more of that sad tone as she explains the backstory of the planet. When she realizes that she could send Dandy to another dimension, the music begins to reach its climax. Once the process begins, it hits its peak. The song reaches its climax, and it lasts until Dandy has been sent to another dimension, as he and the music both fade away. This is like a visual orgasm. Space Dandy is made by Studio Bones, so it makes sense that the animation is something else. The art style is really cool, and it all feels in place and lived in. Every environment in the show is used so unique in its own way, and it gives me this sense of nostalgia, but that might just be me. I, genuinely do not know. So many scenes just feel so smooth, and it's just... it's so good. I don't know what else to say about it. It's very good. I recommend. So the story is pretty good as well. As I said before, Dandy dies in this episode, and it's all about him going through limbo, in a very literal sense. But what makes it interesting is the way that it's all presented. Presentation matters so much in shit like this. It's the characters, it's the art, the music that makes it all interesting. You can't just make a movie about going through limbo or purgatory and realizing that the character is dead. It needs to be interesting and unique, and that's exactly what Space Dandy nails with every episode of the show. Everything is either beautiful or funny, and it stays interesting with how everything is written. There's a sense of mystery and tension throughout the episode that finally gets resolved in such a heartbreaking way, with the planet sacrificing itself so that Dandy can get a second chance. It's genuinely gripping, and I love it. But you know what I love more? All the characters in this show have a purpose, as they should. A good story makes all their characters mean something and have something to offer to the story. There's probably like one exception to that, but who cares? Ferdinand is the mysterious dweller who helps Dandy out through the story, but also has an ulterior motive. Balloonist is somebody who keeps a neutral part in the story, yet plays an important role, that being that she lulls Dandy to sleep for him to wake up surrounded by whatever these things are. The bike is a bike that can talk. The two people eating dinner together. While they don't offer much of the story, it provides a bit of context on the world and what the residents are like. Another good example of world building is that all the people in the restaurant are singing about the inevitability of death, and then there's the planet herself, whose name's actually Poe, who only introduces herself at the beginning and the end of the episode, and has one of the biggest roles and provides a backstory for the planet, and also provides Dandy with a second chance. Apparently on the wiki it says that Poe gives Dandy insight on life and death, and also that Dandy is a transdimensional being. It also says that in the final scene it depicts that she remembers Dandy, and that whenever Dandy dies he pays a visit to the planet Limbo, suggesting that Poe is also another transdimensional being. If that's true, that's genuinely so heartwarming and sweet. This episode is genuinely my favorite of the series. While everything else is incredibly cool and interesting, this one just stole the show from me because of the presentation. That doesn't mean that the rest of the show isn't phenomenal though. Watch it. It's free on Crunchyroll. Hey, guys, I'm so sorry that this video took fucking forever to come out. I have been procrastinating this. I wrote this script back in fucking May, and I started writing it in like April. I just was really worried about how it would come out, and I like am so scared that I'm going to do a bad job or miss the mark entirely. But it doesn't matter. It's the first time doing this. This is what the content's going to be like now, more video essays, kind of stuff like that. It'll get better. It'll get much better over time. Sorry if this video kind of sucked. I just, more of like a passion thing. I'm kind of getting tired of doing the gaming videos over and over. However, the gaming videos will stay if you did like those, and I have made a second channel, which I am going to put all the gaming videos from now on that channel. I hope that you enjoy. Now go watch something else, and also like and subscribe. It's also 12 a.m. right now. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.